Hip-hop friendships and rivalries sometimes straddle a fine line. However, was not anticipated. Camron suddenly made headlines on social media by sharing a private video of his longtime buddy, who is now his enemy, Jim Jones. To put it mildly, the video is far more startling than anyone could have predicted. Fans are frantically trying to determine what is real, what isn't, and why Camron would go to this length in the first place. Was this retaliation for years of turmoil behind the scenes? Or is it simply another phase of the intricate Dipset brotherhood, which has produced both iconic songs and enduring feuds? In any case, fans are speculating about the consequences and demanding answers on the internet as a result of this disclosure. Hold on tight, because this startling video is going to alter your entire understanding of Jim Jones and Camron's connection. Betrayal and loyalty frequently coexist in hip-hop. One moment, friendships are praised, and the next, rivalries flare up. But no one anticipated this. The internet is in a full meltdown when Camron Dipset, a legendary figure in Harlem, apparently shared a private video of Jim Jones out of the blue. While some fans are asking why Camron would ever take such a move against someone he once considered his brother. Others are calling it nasty, startling, and simply unreal. The leak has immediately emerged as the most recent development in one of the most intricate friendships in hip-hop. Together, Camron and Jim Jones created Dipset, provided listeners with enduring hits, and shaped a period of rap culture in Harlem. However, now that this video is public, many are questioning if the harm between these two can ever be undone. Let's examine the events, the purported footage, and the industry's response to this startling turn of events. Today's drama involves Dipset brotherhood from day one. You must look at the underlying causes of this leak, comprehend why it is so significant. Jim Jones and Camron were more than simply rap partners. They resembled brothers. In the early 2000s, they established the Diplomats, commonly known as Dipset, with Joel Santana and Freaky Zicky. They changed the rap game and impacted a whole generation with their flamboyant flair, unadulterated Harlem energy, and unrepentant words. Jim and Cam supported one another for years. They were producing more than simply songs like Hey and Oh Boy. They were demonstrating dedication to their supporters. However, the egos, business choices, and conflicts behind the scenes all increased, along with Dipset, as time went on. Cracks appeared, arguments erupted from disagreements, and ultimately, their friendship began to fall apart. In the present day, that connection appears to have totally broken down. Fans are claiming that Camron's purported publication of this intimate video might be the last straw for their relationship. The video purportedly depicting the leak. Let's now discuss the real leak. Reports circulating on social media claim that Camron shared or broadcast a private video of Jim Jones that nobody was expecting to view. Although the specifics of the video are still up for discussion, some people find it humiliating. Some say it's really personal. Everyone concurs that the timing and purpose of the leak are startling. Jim Jones is purportedly shown on the video in a precarious or vulnerable posture, which was obviously never intended for public consumption. The betrayal is much more painful since it came from someone as close to him as Camron. Supporters are inquiring, why now? And why this video? Above all, what benefits does Camron stand to receive from this? Memes, disappointment, horror, and fan reactions. Following the release of the video, Instagram and Twitter went viral. 3 groups of responses have been identified. Many devoted Dipset followers voiced shock and incredulity. They were baffled by how 2 men who co-founded an empire could turn on one another in such a clumsy and public manner. It was deemed depressing and shameful for the culture by several admirers, fans who were disappointed. A second group felt incensed in addition to being astonished. After referring to Jim as a brother for years, they believe Camron had gone too far in invading his privacy. These supporters contend that some things ought to be secret. regardless of what takes place. Behind closed doors ensued, as is customary on the internet. On social media, videos, presents, and amusing remarks proliferated, transforming the breach into amusement for some online communities. However, the majority of people believed that the issue was serious despite the jokes, industry reaction, and cultural voices. Other hip-hop artists and rappers quickly added their voices. Some backed Jim Jones, arguing that regardless of the situation, disclosing private video is always a low blow. Others refrained from taking sides but acknowledged that this instance demonstrates how chaotic things can get when brotherhood devolves into rivalry. According to several sources, Camron used this leak as a means of making it clear that he is tired of playing nice and wants to show Jim for who he truly is. Others, however, contend that it's just a desperate advertising gimmick meant to attract attention in a world where clicks are driven by shock value. In any case, there is a consensus throughout the sector. Both men's legacies will be impacted by this event. Jim Jones's consequences. The consequences for Jim Jones are complicated. On the one hand, it is embarrassing to be shown on a private video. It's the type of stuff that might harm brand partnerships, harm reputations, and provide detractors with ammunition to attack him. However, other supporters are standing by him and accusing him of being the victim in this circumstance. They contend that Jim didn't deserve to be deceived in this way, particularly by someone he had formerly thought of as family. Although Jim has not yet made an official remark, those close to him say he is incensed, and who wouldn't be, really? Rap conflict is no longer the only topic of discussion here. It concerns the breach of personal boundaries, loyalty, and trust. The consequences for Camron. Camron's action has drawn criticism on par with Buzz's. Because of this stunt, some admirers believe he is cold, cunning, and cruel. Others respect his audacity, stating that Cam has always been unvarnished and unrepentant, and that is simply another instance of his being himself. However, the reality is that disclosing private video has repercussions. People believe it to be against hip-hop ethics and unspoken street norms. Kim may believe that he is exposing Jim, but in reality, he could be exposing himself as someone who is prepared to break boundaries. The cost of celebrity, treachery, fraternity, and the wider picture fundamentally goes beyond a simple video. It explores what occurs when ego, notoriety, and unsolved concerns cause brotherhood to crumble. Jim and Cam were meant to stand for lifetime loyalty, Dipset pride, and Harlem solidarity. However, in light of this revelation, their tale now appears to be more about betrayal than brotherhood. More significant issues for the culture are also brought up by this moment. In reality, how much should fans see? To what extent should artists reveal their private issues? Furthermore, when does meat become a clear offense rather than just amusement? What comes next? So, what are our next steps? Will Jim Jones respond with invoices? Will Camron step up and make additional videos available? Or before their disagreement? All we know for now is that isn't going away anytime soon on the internet. Fans and blogs alike will be watching, evaluating, and dissecting every move Jim and Kim make going ahead. Furthermore, they might not be the only ones impacted by this disclosure. It could have an effect on Dipset's overall legacy. They are currently making headlines for treachery and conflict rather than just their legendary song. Concluding remarks. Ultimately, drama has always been a major part of hip-hop, but this time it feels different. Lyrics, diss tunes, and competitive intensity aren't the only things involved. It's about exposing people's private lives as brutally as possible. There is more to Camron's release of a private film of Jim Jones than just startling images. It serves as a reminder that even among those who first appeared to be unshakable, loyalty may be brittle. One thing is certain, regardless of whether you support Jim, Cam, or neither, This topic will be discussed for years to come because it has rocked the culture. The only thing left to wonder is if is the end of Cam and Jim's relationship or merely the start of a potentially much nastier rivalry. The question now is, what are your thoughts on this startling circumstance? Do you believe that Camron's release of Jim Jones' private tape went too far, or was simply another development in the lengthy history of tape drama? What does this signify for their legacy? More significantly, will their music or the current nasty breakup be what fans remember them for? Your voice counts, and this topic is just getting hotter. So please share your opinions in the comments section below to ensure that you never miss the newest hip-hop news, leaks, and behind-the-scenes drama. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable alerts if you like this in-depth look at the subject. You may expect more exclusives and analyses soon. You won't want to miss what comes next, I promise. We'll see you in the upcoming video, so stay tuned.